What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kenisha Brookrin. This is Kenny Speak. To my subscribers and new subscribers, beat up your chest. Listen, look on the screen, guys. Listen, it's not adding up. Stop playing with me. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and help a girl grow her channel. I see you guys watching. You're just not subscribing. Stop playing. Stop playing with it.
And when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese had a
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
Pause. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that, you know, DJ Envy has been very vocal about the things that Tyrese has done, like saved his marriage, right? He's helped to save he helped to convince Gia to stay. And for him to go through something and him lose his wife, and then the first thing DJ Envy wants to do is try to box his mouth and stay away from. See, that's why you can't do nothing for people. You can't do shit for people. That's why people need to mind their business when it comes to people relationships, because the moment you're going through some shit, they are going to try to flip it on you. And for him to sit up and say, oh, I didn't know that you was on psych meds, I didn't know all of this. Obviously, you knew him well enough to take advice from him.
I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese
had a
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have.
But I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner.
Oh.
And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
Well,
and I didn't. No, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlamagne was talking, and he told me that you were on the psych meds, and this is what it was.
This is longer than a month ago.
Yeah, that's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that. And maybe you were going through problems. So if somebody if I talk to your wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me. Okay. And that's how I felt at that time.
Okay. You did that to a lot of people, though, Ty.
But maybe y'all should have been had this conversation.
No, listen.
This is great. We have anyone God want us to have.
That's it. And I'm going to say this, because this is not the first time I've said this. The things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall, that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said and did while I was literally out of my mind. And if we could expect God to give us grace, we should always extend that same grace. So what I'm saying to you is, everybody clearly could see that something was going on. Something's happening. Crying video, what more do you want from me? Congratulations. Something is happening. And so now, when you're out of your mind, you don't go on Instagram and say, I just got off the phone and Will Smith is sending me $5 million when I never even talked to Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. You don't call Jada and say, I ain't no killer, but don't push me.
Right.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy that
you said that?
Yeah, I did. On the phone to Jada. Because I was like, maybe that'll help for her to call Will.
Working for my love, but I can find you. I can find you.
Do you appreciate what Tyrese did for you?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure.
I'll explain it.
Yeah.
All right.
Was going through a hard time. Cheated on my wife. My wife wanted to get a divorce. Charlamagne talked me into apologizing on the radio and calling her live.
That
Okay,
was not
Martin
Charlamagne.
Lawrence, what the hell? Why would you ever?
That didn't happen. Yet.
Bad idea.
What?
But it was a good idea. I'm going to tell you why. Bad idea because I put my business on the radio.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? Tyrese happened to be in town. and heard some of the things that were going on. So Tyrese called to check on me and see what was going on. I was going through it, and instead of just checking and keeping moving, he stayed on top of it to the point where he became the therapist, the mediator, the person in between.
The reason that you are with your wife today, still.
Part of that reason, correct, absolutely. Tyrese called and said, hey, this is what I want you to do. Get a dinner, book a private room at your house. I'm going to be there. You and your wife have a dinner, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to sing Stay, which is my favorite Tyrese song.
Classic record. My God.
Classic record.
Right? And he had a violinist, and he came and they sang Stay. And, you know, he sat down there with us for dinner and spoke to us and guided us through as far as he could our relationship, and you know, we had to go through other steps.
And then with all of that, Tyrese still got a big envy to play his record.
And then the thing is, and then y'all treat him like this when he comes here.
It's true. I don't feel, and you got to keep in mind, I look at it as heavenly deposits. When you do things for people, and you're not saying, I'm going to do this because I want this out of it.
Right.
Like, the most uncomfortable part of my day thus far is just listening to Envy tell that story.
Oh, why? Why
because
is that uncomfortable?
I didn't do it to be
for that, to be praised about it.
I didn't do it because I knew that they was going to write their book together about it or be doing interviews about it. It was literally an assignment so crazy that even before I came here to sing at this restaurant, we were already on the phone for at least 2 months. I didn't hear your interview.
I never even heard anybody say that before. We was on the phone for 2 months.
We was on the phone for 2 straight months because I never heard your interview from New York. That happened for me for LA.
From LA.
Yeah, because when you announced it, it went viral. So I was able to hear the apology on the gram. So that's when I reached out to you. I flew in town just for you and your wife. This is the part that I don't appreciate about Envy. Is when Tyrese divorce comes across your headline. When the captions associated to the things that come across your desk. Where's that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me instead of it just being paper pushing? This is the part that I don't appreciate about Envy. Is when Tyrese divorce comes across your headline. Where's that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me instead of it just being paper pushing, and this is what Tyrese is on the gram again.
That's
and
exactly
then
what
it's
he
like,
do.
okay, that's expected. No, it's all right. This is my brother.
Envy can't sing though.
No,
he
Envy
can't.
never
Yo,
does
shut
that
up,
though.
man. Why is everything a
He
joke
does
to you,
that.
man?
I'm not
Why is
joking.
everything
He
serious?
does
While
that.
every on-air personality, blog, podcast, or whatever, they got a job to do. They gonna say things for clickbait, ratings, this and that. But when you have certain people on the radio and you've developed some type of relationship with them, everybody go through things. But why is my marriage funny? Why is my divorce just something to talk about?
Perfect.
Where
Good
is
question.
the outreach?
This is a good conversation. Let's put it all out there. Go ahead.
Where is the call? You good, Reese?
It's kind of like when a preacher tells you something in church, right? Then you look at the preacher's life and you say, how do you teach me something that you're not doing? I don't respect the preacher anymore.
Oh, shit.
I respect the message and how it came. But you know what I've been through, and you know how I changed as a man and as a person. And you were there for it. You was a brother for it. But then when I look at my brother and saying what he's telling me to do and how he's telling me to live, he's not living that way, I don't respect it. And then when we talk on these private chats and has nothing to do with the public, just having to do with who you were and how you speak and how you talk about the people next to you, I didn't respect it. To the point where I blocked you on my chat because I didn't want to see Tyrese as that. That's not the man that was my brother.
Let's shoot bail because I think this is a great conversation because I think it's a lot of miscommunication between all of us, right? And you were going through a lot back then because you admitted that to me. Because when me and you had words.
Are we talking about psych med?
Yeah. That's when you was on the psych
It's a little
med.
bit of everything.
He was on the psych meds then because you said you don't even
So
remember
he
a lot of the
hasn't-
stuff you were saying. To us.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't at all. So it's like when you get drunk, do you hold your boy to what he's saying while he's drunk?
No, I never held that against you.
Okay. Do you hold anybody to anything that they're doing when you know that this is their usual self They were drunk, they were out of their mind, and they end up saying and doing some shit that hurt my feelings, that was offensive, that made me feel a way. But I know that characteristically, that's not who this man is.
Well, yeah,
See, the difference is, I honestly don't know what psych meds you were on or who you were
do
during
know,
that point.
'cause y'all
I don't know.
reported it.
I don't know.
It's called
know.
Rick Salty. It fucked me
I
up.
don't know. I never had a conversation with you because I never wanted to see you like that. The person who spoke to me on these texts, spoke to my wife during that time at the text, I didn't like that. And I wanted to remember Tyrese as a person that was my brother and helped my relationship, not the Tyrese that I was going through. So I took a step back from
So you got
until
the
we had a
text
conversation.
messages of the psych med, Tyrese?
He did. That's
Oh,
what it
you
was.
crazy? Charlamagne told you to suck his dick before on that message.
Because you was talking crazy.
Whoa, whoa.
You know that. We had this
Hey,
conversation already.
guys.
But he literally said, I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember what I said that made you say that
but
or
to this
made
point,
you feel that way.
But to this point, I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and
How
Tyrese had a
convenient.
How convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have
But I
stepped
never
up.
talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner. And I never told nobody that.
If
Even
I've
when
ever
you were
talked-
on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
Whoa,
and I
whoa,
didn't.
whoa,
No.
whoa, wait, this is
No,
missing
no,
something
no,
here.
no,
No,
it's
no,
no,
no.
no, we were talking because
It's
this is
good.
something
I'm
that I
good
never
with
wanted to
this.
say. And since he wants to be, well, why envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that. And maybe you were going through problems. So if somebody if I talk to your
Maybe.
wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me.
Okay.
And that's how I felt at that time.
You did that to a lot of people, though, Ty.
But maybe y'all should have had this conversation.
No, listen.
This
Listen.
is great. We're having it when God wants us to have it.
That's it. And I'm going to say this, because this is not the first time I've said this. The things that I said and did, the people that I rubbed the wrong way, the things that I posted, my conduct overall that was literally out of my control. I've literally prayed that people can find it in their heart to not hold me to something that I said and did while I was literally out of my mind. And if we could expect God to give us grace, we should always extend that.
I'm saying to you from this point on, because I never did this with Charlamagne, I never did this with Jeff.
Which is
From
horrible.
this point on, just do the best you can to just, hey, bro, you all right?
Yeah, it's not a problem.
And have the conversation.
I'll do that. See, we can do that now, but just see, I play Rashawn all day. I play DJ Envy all day. I play light skin jokes. I play all types of jokes, but I don't play Gia, Madison, Logan, London, Jackson, Brooklyn, or Peyton. I draw the line where it is, and I don't care what anybody says about Grace. That's my family. Somebody could give me $20 million. When you play with my kid, kiss my ass from the back. That's just how I feel until we have that conversation. Now that we have that conversation, it's a different story. But I play Rashawn all day. I don't play them 7 people that live in that house with me.
And none of us all.
But now
I
we're
was
having a
not in my
conversation.
right
But when we do that, I step away. And the reason I step away is because I don't want it to go past where I go. And you know where I go.
Yeah. Well, I
I
guess
think
I might
Tyrese
as
can take
well.
you. But
Honestly, I believe we've all had that friend, that friend that we will travel the world, cross the world for. We will walk on water for. We will drink poison for. We will just do anything for that person. Or we've been that friend where we'll do the most for others, but we will always notice when it comes to us, when it comes to our well-being, when it comes to our situations, they will never show up. And sometimes I don't know if it's them to blame. I really don't know, because we show up so much and we give so much of ourselves that they actually start to believe that we are Superman and we are Superwoman, and that our shit don't smell, that we don't go through nothing. Like, they really believe that we are solid. And I don't even know if we are supposed to blame them or ourselves, that whenever we're going through something, we just go through it. We hide and we go through it. We don't ask for help. We don't ask for handouts. And the crazy thing is, when we do ask, or when we do say something's wrong with us, they don't even believe. Because we always show up. They, like, I research more, and DJ Envy don't even believe that Tyrese be going through it. And us who don't know him, when we see him and we see him going through stuff, we know that's coming from the heart. And we know he's actually going through it. But someone who's actually supposedly his friend, someone who have been in rooms with him, don't even believe. And it's crazy because I get it. I get it. We be showing up so well. Have empathy. It is sincere. It is not fake. It is real. It is real. And so I won't advise you to cut everyone off, but just realize that you're a real one. And not everyone's going to show up for you like that. And when you do find someone who shows up for you like that, cherish them. Genuinely cherish them, appreciate them, look out for them like you would. Like you would. You know, like you would. I do feel it for Tyrese, because honestly, if you did all this for someone and you kept their marriage going, and then you fell short and that person didn't show up for you, that's something to think about. Honestly, that's something to really think hard about. And I saw in another video where DJ Envy was like, you're preaching one thing, but your action says another thing. I value your word, but listen, you get the best wisdom from people who mess up. You get the best wisdom from people who mess up. Like people who's divorced, they can spit a wisdom that no married person who's never experienced divorce can spit. People who went through certain things, they can teach you something. And so I will listen to what Tyrese has to say, even in his brokenness, even in his breakdown, because there's always a lesson in there. And I side with Tyrese on this one. DJ Envy went too far. Listen, if someone can do all that for you, like, let go and forgive. Speak to him behind closed doors and be like, when you did this, I didn't appreciate it. But it looked like Tyrese friendship to DJ Envy is more sincere than DJ Envy's friendship with Tyrese. That Tyrese appreciates him more than he appreciates Tyrese. And we do have friendships like that. We have relationships like that. We have business partners like that, where one person appreciates the other more than the other appreciates them. And it's just for us to realize where we stand. It's for us to realize who got my back and who don't, who value me and who don't, and move from there. Check out my YouTube channel. I'm going to put a lot more information and a lot more videos on this topic. Let's hear what TikTok and the social has to say. God bless.
Tyrese shows proof of not disrespecting DJ Envy's wife like he claims. Y'all know DJ Envy said he was gonna box Tyrese's mouth because he disrespected his wife in 2017. So Tyrese went up there showing the messages between them, and Tyrese is like, so how did your wife block me in 2017, but we're communicating in 2023, where he sent her a picture of an island, that he was supposed to be buying, and she said, it's beautiful, right? So Tyrese is basically, exposing DJ Envy for lying. Who knows? Maybe DJ Envy is just saying this because he started probably having a problem with Tyrese texting his wife, and instead of, saying that, he's trying to make it seem like Tyrese was disrespecting his wife and she blocked him, when he clearly showed proof that they were still talking even in 2023 and in 2022. But DJ Envy claims he got blocked 2017. So it's not adding up. So it's looking like DJ Envy's trying to find a reason to be mad at Tyrese.
Y'all know that I could make the choice to go at both of them, but I'm not going to do it. The choice that I'm going to make is to wish them well in their careers, their marriage, their family, everything. I want the best for them. I really do. I want to say thank you to Jess. I hope they add you to, I hope they officially add you to the show. And I hope nobody attacks you or come at you, because you actually had the only heart in the room. So I'm in the middle of expressing my vulnerabilities and all this stuff that I've been carrying and festering from certain things that they've said and choices they've made and how they've went about being insensitive about my stuff. I appreciate Jess for just stepping in and wanting to keep the conversation. Definitely didn't plan on getting emotional live, but it's all fresh. One thing y'all need to know is I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna get through this process. I'm gonna take this journey. But I'm gonna have to grow up. When you think of life, you're gonna have to start thinking of it as stock. And there's areas of stock in your life where the value is low. There's some areas that you really gotta grow in. Then there's those areas where the stock is really high. And for everybody who knows me, and for everybody who turned on me, never called, never checked on me, never came, never tried to pull up on me, never tried to come put their eyes on me and make sure I was good. I know one thing's for sure. As y'all have watched this Breakfast Club interview, y'all was happy as a motherfucker I never called your name. Y'all was at home like, everything that I'm describing about Envy or Charlemagne, I could have easily mentioned you. You turned your back on me too, and I never turned on you. I went above and beyond for you too, and you never even simply checked on me. You were at home. Please don't let this nigga bring me up or bring me into the conversation. Don't worry about it. You good.
Okay, one thing for certain, two things for sure. I cannot tell somebody how to take a violation. But what I can say is this. True friendship does not look like me checking you on air. If I had an issue with something that you did, you said, or to me or whomever in my family, baby, I'm going to address it right then and there. Why in the world would you wait until you're in a public place, on a public platform, to address your friend? Like, I can see if y'all had talked about it off air and it was like, oh, yeah, okay, we can bring that up. Let's talk about it, my G. But y'all didn't talk about it off air. You can tell that Tyrese felt sideswiped by this whole conversation off his reaction. And yeah, baby, how convenient is it that you don't want to show up for me in times when I need you, when I showed up for you? Cool, I can't tell you what your capacity is, but I can tell you when you on bullcrap. And baby, this was nothing but bullcrap. You don't do your friends like that. Cousins, what y'all think about this?
Honestly, don't know what site meds you were on or who you were. I don't know. I don't know. I never had a conversation with you because I never wanted to see you.
Wait.
We had a conversation.
Messages of the psych med, Tyrese?
He did. Are you crazy? Charlamagne told you to suck his dick before on that message.
Because you was talking crazy. Whoa.
And to my point, I tried. And when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, not with me and Tyrese.
How convenient. How convenient? Some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserve me to box your mouth. No. Hold on, no, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why Envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you think?
It's neither here nor there.
I extend you grace every time I talk about you. He be sitting up here big playing about a divorce, and I'm like, first of all,
I ain't never played with that man.
Yes, you did. Your marriage was in shambles years ago.
It was not.
Yes, it was in big shambles. But she didn't leave. It's all right, okay. You made a lot of changes to that face.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You got a job to do.
True. When was your relationship tested the most?
Well, we went through a stage where Rashawn cheated on me. And a lot of people would say that was to be expected because we've been together for so long. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, I didn't expect it because he treated me amazingly. Mm-hmm. A lot of times when people go through things like cheating, the man treats the woman poorly at home.
Yeah. Right.
But our sex life was good. He was always giving me compliments, very generous. Everything was fantastic. He was a wonderful father. He never failed at that. I really didn't see any red signs. Wow. And when I found out, for me, I knew that it was going to be over because my entire life being with him, that was my hard line. Yeah. That's the line you don't cross. Yeah. So when I found out, I hired a divorce attorney.
Wow.
I even began to prep my kids. And it was so bad in our home. And it was very bad for him professionally. And it started to spill over into his work life. He couldn't perform. And as a radio personality,
yeah, you got to be on.
You got to be on
every day.
It doesn't matter what you're going through.
What was happening?
It was I was losing everything. You know, I'm losing this person that really held me down, was there from the start, didn't care about money, didn't care about anything, just cared for my well-being. And then my family. I felt like a letdown. I felt like a failure. And, you know, like I was Rashawn at home, but in the streets I was DJ Envy. So it was two different people. And
I didn't know DJ Envy.
Right. And it was a situation where I messed up, and I messed up completely. I couldn't do my work. I was at work sleeping. Like, it really affected me. And thank God for 2 people. One was Rashid, which is her best friend, and the other was Tyrese.
What?
Yeah, Tyrese.
Tyrese
Gibson.
That's like a random. So we have to ask. Good old Tyrese. How did Tyrese help?
So I apologized to my wife on there, and I kind of embarrassed her. She had no clue, but at this point, I was trying everything to get her to listen.
Because
So
up until that point, all of his attempts had failed.
Yeah.
So that was his last attempt to try to do it publicly.
Yes.
But you have to think, nobody knew. It wasn't a public thing.
Yeah.
At
So
that
he
point,
outed
it was
himself.
only between us.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I knew, but then he outed it to the public. Not with details, but the apology.
Yes. Yeah.
Then all you had to do was read between the lines.
So Tyrese heard it when I said it on air, and I didn't know Tyrese. We didn't know each other. He didn't have my number. We just professionally, I would see him, hey, what's up? And he called me and said, I heard you on the radio, and I want to help. And I was like, but you don't know me. He was like, God gave me a sign to help you. So I was like, all right, Tyrese wants some spins or something. But he really said, I don't care. I really want to help. So he was like, this is what I want you to do. He says, I want you to book a reservation at this restaurant. Get the private room. I'm going to come, and I'm going to sing, and I'm going to talk to y'all. So I booked a private room, and Gia and I were having dinner, and Tyrese came in singing with a backup singer and a guitarist
Wait.
singing Stay. And I didn't know Tyrese, and he was singing, and he sang like he was singing at the Grammys. Like, he was... And you know that Tyrese face?
Yes.
He was...
Wait, hold hard.
Yes. He was singing, and...
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And he sat down for 4 hours with us and just had conversations, and pretty much was my angel every day until we were able to try to work it out and get me back in the house. Well, not in the house, but get me back in at least her speaking graces.
Yeah.
He would talk to Gia 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning,
He'd be on
midnight.
the phone for 8 hours.
Listen, so you're not okay with him calling you a liar. You're going to clear your name, but where do you stand with him as far as his mental health journey?
I think you can be. Oh, that's your question to answer. If you go.
I think you need to ask the mental genius over there.
I am not a mental health
I'm going to
genius.
tell you, I think he's full of... Can I say caca? No. That's what he's full of. And I think he's full of that. And I think he uses mental health, and that's part of the reason why I feel like people don't necessarily trust people. I think he uses mental health to his advantage when he needs to. When it's a problem, I think he says, oh, it's mental. When it's a situation, oh, it's mental. Instead of being a man and standing on his square and saying, I messed up, this was a problem. That's what he does. And he'll get on the line today, he'll cry and say this, that, and the other. He does it all the time. We see it every week, and then, congratulations. He does it all the time.
Well, I think you can deal with mental health issues.
I text you and I was like, yo, man, I'm on my way to New York. I got a bunch of interviews and meetings and label. I got to go run in the label, go this and that. That was all a lie. I flew in town just for you and your wife.
Oh, wow.
But this is the part that I don't appreciate about Envy is when Tyrese divorce comes across your headline, when the captions associated to the things that come across your desk. Where's that same heart and love that I extended to you that you could extend to me instead of it just being paper pushing and this is what Tyrese is on the gram again.
That's
and
exactly
then
what
it's
he
like,
do.
okay, that's expected. No, it's all right. This is my brother.
Well, Envy can't sing though.
No,
he
Envy
can't.
never
Yo,
does
shut
it
up,
though.
man. Why is everything a joke to you,
that.
man?
I'm not joking.
Why is everything
He
serious?
does
While
that.
every on-air personality, blog, podcast, whatever, they got a job to do. They're going to say things for clickbait, ratings, this and that. But when you have certain people on the radio and you've developed some type of relationship with them, and again, you owe me nothing, right? Ultimately, you did the work.
Right.
God just decided to take my hand and use it in any way he can. And there's nobody that could ever give me more props than what God has done for me.
Yeah.
To say, like, good job, son. You did everything I asked you to do. You don't even know what I have in mind for you, but you did it. And there's a very married couple that was very married. Everybody go through things. But why is my marriage funny? Why is my divorce just something to talk about.
Perfect.
Where
Good
is the
question.
outreach?
This is a good conversation. Let's put it all out there. Go ahead.
Where is the call? You good, Reese?
It's like
Do I need to come to Atlanta and come pull up on you at the house. And
Charlamagne did,
put my
but
eyes on you.
Let me tell you.
Charlamagne came to do an interview that I requested for him to do. I never stepped in, and God never used me to step in when this man's marriage was potentially on the brink.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's kind of like when a preacher tells you something in church, right? And the preacher tells you what you need to do to be better. Then you look at the preacher's life and you say, how do you teach me something that you're not doing? I don't respect the preacher anymore.
Oh, shit.
I respect the message and how it came. But you know what I've been through, and you know how I changed as a man and as a person. And you were there for it. You was a brother for it. But then when I look at my brother and saying what he's telling me to do and how he's telling me to live, he's not living that way. I don't respect it.
How do we know that, though?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Because and these are the things that we've seen, and not only in private, because things that we know in private, but it's also things that I see in public.
Okay.
Me and my wife are good, right?
Hold on, I gotta respond to that.
Let me give examples first, so you understand where I'm coming from. Because if you don't know where I'm coming from, you're just gonna pull things out the blue.
I'm not gonna pull anything out the blue. I'm gonna respond to what you just said. First of all, to arrive at an opinion of what I'm doing versus what I'm not doing is based on public consumption. I never made a decision, or God never used me to make a decision about your life based on what was being reported on public consumption. What I know about you, what I know about what you did, what I ultimately knew about what your wife was feeling and carrying and what y'all were in the process of, you couldn't read none of that online. I got that information from the outreach. So whatever feelings you have about me and what I should be or shouldn't be doing pertaining to my approach with how I'm unraveling and bleeding out loud in the middle of my thing, that would have actually been the reason to call.
No, and I did have conversations with you, and this is from before your ex-wife when you were talking to the girl out overseas and who you were as a man. I didn't respect that. I took a step back because I didn't know what you were going through, and I tried to talk to you, and I seen who you were, and I didn't even like who you were online. And to my point, I tried, and when I seen how you were talking this way, I said, I'm going to take a step back.
And you know, when me and Tyrese had a
how convenient? Yeah, how convenient. Yeah, when the way you were talking, the way that you were.
How convenient to step back.
What you mean?
I never stepped back from you.
From you.
It's right.
You should have.
But I never talked to your wife in a disrespectful manner, and you talked to mine in a disrespectful manner.
Oh.
And I never told nobody that. Even when you were on, and you could say you were on those psych meds, and you could say that you weren't.
What you mean?
But as a man, some of the things that you said, Tyrese, deserved me to box your mouth.
Whoa,
and I didn't. No, we were talking because this is something that I never wanted to say. And since he wants to be, well, why envy? I'm telling him why. You said disrespectful shit to my wife.
What do you say?
It's neither here nor there. To the point where my wife doesn't call you back anymore. And to the point when you started talking to psych meds, me and my wife had a conversation and said, well, maybe Tyrese was on those medicines when he said it. But if you ever text me and my wife, you can't text me because I just unblocked you probably about a month ago when me and Charlamagne was talking, and he told me that you were on the psych meds and this is what it was.
This is longer than a month ago.
Yeah, that's what made me unblock you. So that was the reason why I stopped talking to you and will not reach out to you anymore, because I'm like, I don't want to remember my brother as that. And maybe you were going through problems. So if somebody if I talk to your wife, disrespectful, I don't expect for you to come check on me.
Okay.
And that's how I felt that.
I'm gonna box you in the mouth over some shit. First of all, hee ha ha, nigga, for real. But second of all, you lying on me, bro. You just making shit up. I got receipts. August 23rd, text messages. I'm not gonna show y'all what we texting about. Text messages, text, responses, text. Where is the person? This is his wife. This is First Lady. Where is the person? She's giving me Rashawn's new cell phone number. August the 10th, 2022. The psych med and the supposed disrespect happened in 2017. So what I want us to do is I want us to be adults. And I want us to leave the conversation alone. And I want you to go ahead and keep wrestling with what you're wrestling with, which is that brother went out of his way and he was there for me. And I've been laughing at him on my show. I've been talking shit. I've been throwing shots. I've been looking at the rumor report. We've been donkeying it a day in it, reading my captions and all my shit. And you've been just every time a guest come on your show, you say, hey man, what's up with Tyrese? I'll be like, damn, Envy, why you trying to bait niggas into talking shit about me? You did it to Ludacris? You did it to Tank? You be bringing my name up when people come on the show. And I'm like, what my bro? That's why I came into the show feeling the way. Why I'm on my Instagram? I'm gonna tell you why I'm on my Instagram. Because everything about what you said was on a public platform. And I'm addressing this shit publicly to let the world know. Your girl, your baby mama, your wife, not Envy's, but anybody, you can leave me in a private room and you can secretly record the conversation. I will never disrespect another man's wife. I will never disrespect another man's woman. As a matter of fact, when women break up with dudes and they're going through what they're going through, if I actually know the nigga and this ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is all of a sudden available, I won't even fuck with that. That ain't who I am as a man. There's too many women out here to be out here messing with somebody if you know somebody that they used to. Like, come on, man. That's integrity that you learn in the hood, nigga. Real hood niggas know. You can get your whole motherfucking head caved in. For real. For fucking with another nigga's wife.
Who his wife is, tell you the people he knows. He says, I want you to be real because that's what Tyrese did. He did it to me, flirted with my wife, and he's doing it with you. He had no idea because I don't even know this gentleman.
I don't know why y'all just didn't have that conversation when he was just up here.
Because I didn't want to disrespect him. I was like, I'm just gonna tell him what it is and leave it at that. He apologized and he said it was the psych meds. Remember, it's the psych meds. Oh my gosh, I would never. Bull-ish.
Y'all lied to me. We sat here and had a whole hour and 30-minute conversation. And now you saying all of this stuff after the fact. Tyrese saying all of this stuff after the fact.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. Let's call my wife, please.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ.
Am I on the radio?
Yes, you are. You're on the radio. Tyrese is calling me a liar. For people that don't know, I stopped talking to Tyrese, and there was a reason why I stopped talking to Tyrese. Not because only did I think he was a bozo and full of ish, but also because of the way that I felt he was talking and conducting business with my wife. So I'm going to step back, and I want Charlamagne to ask the questions because I don't want you to...
I want you to ask. Charlamagne is not getting involved
I want you to ask.
In no way, shape, or form. This is... Good morning, Gia, by the way. Okay?
Good morning.
This is a conversation between a husband and a wife, and why the husband stopped talking to somebody and why the wife stopped talking to somebody. So the husband and wife should have a conversation. I'm sitting back watching the Casey Crew live. Go.
Good question. So, babe, just for people that don't know, Tyrese helped save our relationship. When we were going through probably our lowest point and I cheated, Tyrese came in and really helped us and guided us through our relationship, correct?
Yes, he did. Absolutely.
And then we got to a point where we stopped talking to Tyrese. I even blocked Tyrese. And I wanted to box his mouth, as I said the other day. And can you explain to the people why we stopped talking to Tyrese?
Well, we stopped talking to Tyrese on two different occasions. Once, many, many years ago, when he did do that amazing thing for us. He and I became friends, and we were very, very cool, and we spoke often. And a lot of times you'd be laying in the bed next to me while I was talking to him. And at first, everything was cool, but for me, it got to a point where it became inappropriate and uncomfortable, where I felt as though lines were being crossed. And you felt as though lines were being crossed. And we both decided that we were going to take a step back. And, you know, there was times where I felt like he was extremely demanding of my time and of my attention, where if I didn't give him my time and my attention, he would get very angry, get very upset, and let me know what his expectations were of me. And, you know, at that time, I didn't feel as though he was going through any mental issues. I didn't feel as though he was facing any mental challenges at that time. I know that he does go through things, and I know that he has been on medication, but at that time I felt as though he was very clear-minded and everything seemed cool. But when I started to feel uncomfortable and you started to feel uncomfortable, we took a step back.
Well, what lines were crossed?
And
Because people would be
then,
like, well, what lines did he cross?
you know, I don't really feel comfortable being specific because at the same time, I still do have a respect for him. I know that you still do have a respect for him. I would feel more comfortable just being general and saying that, you know, there was flirting and inappropriate compliments for a woman who's married.
Okay. I respect
Is
that.
that fair to say?
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I don't have respect for him, though. But, yeah, no, I get it, and you do it.